Welcome to the video. This is going to be a tutorial on how to upload your projects to GitHub using the using Terminal. So before we even get started, and this took me a day and a half to figure out, so I'm going to tell you about it so that it doesn't take you a day and a half or longer. So in your terminal, if this is kind of the first time really that you've messed with terminal, you might know this already, but you might not. You have to set your terminal up in order to use developer tools. And Git and GitHub are developer tools, and they will not work unless you do this first. So when you open terminal, let's do this. I'm going to open terminal. Now I'm not going to do it because I'm already set up. So when you open terminal, what you're going to do is this code right here. Type in xcode -select space -- install. And a dialog box will pop up that looks like this. And you click on install. It will install your developer tools. And then you're ready to go. So I wanted to tell you that right off the bat because I've followed a lot of tutorials and I got upset because it wasn't working, and this is why. That's because Xcode was not installed. So now that we got that out of the way, so what we're gonna do is we're going to go to GitHub and create a new repository. This is gonna set us up, and we're gonna use this a little bit later. So we're gonna name this repository Delete Me. You can name this whatever you want to. I'm just naming it Delete Me because I'm going to delete it later, and I really want to know which one. So, so we're gonna go down here, and for now, what you can initialize the repository with Readme, and you want to Readme in your repository so that you can explain what it is. You can explain what your code is so that anybody who visits and checks it out, they can click on the Readme and they can understand what the repository is about. But right now, I'm not going to click on that because if you click on that and you go to create repository, it's just going to go to your blank repository. But I want the instructions to show. I want to show you this because it's going to help you a lot, at least in the beginning. So we're going to click on create repository. Now when you get used to this process, then you can go ahead and click Readme and stuff. It won't matter because you'll know what to do. But I want to show you this in case you don't. So we're going to create a project here in a minute. And so we're going to use this middle one right here. You can create a new repository using the command line by doing this one, but we're just going to make it easy. I'm going to assume that you have a project that you've been working on your computer. So we've already created the repository in here. So we're going to use this one. So we're going to leave this alone for right now. Okay, so we're going to minimize this because I don't want to confuse you. So I've already created a project that I supposedly have been working on and it's called Delete Me. This is not really anything. There's just some files and folders just to show you how to do this. So what we want to do, and I hope this isn't confusing, is before we push it to GitHub, we want to create a local repository. And local just means on our system. You don't need an internet connection to do so. It's on our system. It's on our computer. We're not going anywhere outside the computer yet. We're going to create a repository that's local. So let's close this. And using command line, we want to go from our root directory to this folder. So we're going to change directory to cd desktop and Readme. Now we're into this folder, and it says master because I've already done it as a repository. So we're going to start all over again because I want to show you how to do it. So we're going to hit clear here. All right. And to go back out of the folder, we're going to hit cd ... and that's takes me to the trash. See? Okay, so we're going to go all the way out here. So, all right, so we're going to start from scratch. So let's create a new folder. I'm going to rename this. Just delete. Just on the safe side. Leave. Okay, we're going to go in here. We're going to create some files and folders. We're going to name this CSS. We're going to name this IMG for our images. Okay. If you already know how to do this, I'm sorry. If you don't, I'll create another video doing it and explaining exactly what I'm doing. So we're going to close this. And we're going to open this up in Visual Studio Code. We get our welcome message so that we can close that out. So now we're in the delete folder. We're going to create a file. We're going to name this index.html. No, really. We're going to name this index.html in the delete folder. Boop. And then let's go into the CSS folder and put a file in there too. Style CSS. Okay, cool. So we have a project. Doesn't look like much of a project, but trust me, it's a project. All right, now let's say, you know, we've done all our coding, whatever. Okay. So we're going to go to command line. Once again, now we're back in our root directory because we backed out of the last one. We're going to hit CD. Oh, it went to trash because I deleted it. Okay, so we're going to go to CD, desktop. Sorry, desktop, delete. Okay, now we're in delete. Now it doesn't say master because we have not created a repository. We have not turned it into a repository. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to git, init. That's initializing a repository, initializing git. Enter. And it tells you what it did. Initialized empty git repository in where it's at. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put all of the files that are in the delete folder into the repository. So we're going to go to git add dot all dash all. Okay, I'll show you that in a different video, but just to keep it simple, we're going to add all to the repository. Hit enter. And then we're going to commit all of the files. Git add. Wow. All. Sorry. Git commit. All. Okay. And now we need to add the commit message for the changes. And this is to let any other developer know what that commit is about. So if you make a change to your file, it's going to ask you, when you go to commit it, it's going to ask you to enter the commit message. So if you changed a border color or something, you would put changed border color to red. You know what I mean? So it shows anybody that's looking at your code what the commit was about. So we're going to just write initial commit. And then we're going to hit escape. colon WQ. Remember that, colon WQ. And that's going to take us out of this. And then we're going to hit return. So now we have committed. It says initial commit, 3 files changed. We have created a local repository. That's what this delete folder is. So now we're going to go back to our GitHub, and now we're going to go here because we have an existing repository. We just need to push it into GitHub. So we're going to copy this. This right here is the URL that we're going to push all of our files to. So our GitHub, our account, and deleteme.git is our remote repository that we're going to push them to. And right here, this line is we're going to push it to the master file. Okay, so we're going to copy that. Go back to our command line. We're going to paste it. Now, this first line has already been executed. Now we need to execute the second line, so we're just going to hit return. And we're going to wait for that to finish. I'll give you a second to look at that. Okay, and just to make sure that it did what he wanted it to do, so we're going to click up here on Delete Me, which is pretty much refreshing this page. We're going to check out, what's in the repository, and there's our files. See, we have our index.html file, we have our CSS file, and there it is. So if you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. Give me feedback, and if you like this video, click the like button and don't forget to subscribe because more videos are coming your way. As I learn, you will learn. Alright, and I will see you in the next video.